Be calling you a radical. This is an important video because without Santa Barbara shut down, Indian Point. Now think about this. I want you to think about this. Just a few short years ago, and I know everybody's run away because fuck Obama, fuck Trump, fuck them all. I didn't vote for Biden. You know, this was not a vote for Biden. I mean, these parties are identical. I'm an anti-nuclear activist. I'm an environmentalist. There has to be some environmentalists. And nobody's paying attention because you're socially engineered into... Why do you think... I talked to multiple people and they've all said the same thing. There was so much obsession with the Biden-Trump election that nobody paid any attention to any other elections. So they didn't vote down ticket, you know, and so... Which is I mean, it's mission accomplished, right? So, I want you to think about this. So, Holtec, let's talk about Holtec. And I know this is your favorite subject here at the university that gave you nuclearism. Who come up with the soup can canister thing? I did. You know, the Senate opera. Who got Senate opera shut down? I did. From a bone marrow transplant. This is important. This domino effect never happened. No, they never intended to shut Senate opera down. Never. Without Kevin Blanch's cancer, without the Fukushima dynamic, without this YouTube site, they never shut down. Thus, Indian Point never shuts down. Freaking Oyster Creek, all these catastrophes, they don't shut down. Look, I rank these clear back, you know, here on this university, the most dangerous nuclear reactors in the world. Fukushima was on my top 10. Why? It's on the Ring of Fire. Number one, Senate opera. It's shut down, and it's all in dry cast. Now, let's stay with me. The money is set aside. It's in funds by law. It's there. In non-risk accounts. Oh, it's there. So the decommissioning of these catastrophes, the problem is we have a law called the Immunity Act called Price-Anderson. Till it goes, they'll still, you know, get a fairy tale, new scale, pocket-sized reactors, all this bullshit, because they get the money up front. And they can sham, they can thieve, they can rip off. They never intend to do anything, and the Immunity Act, the liability falls on them, you can't sue them. You know, so it's so corrupt, it's unbelievable. They bribe politicians, they, you know, state taxpayers, federal taxpayers, the IEA in Vienna, the blanch box. Now they're going to your local PTA, you know, next. I mean, it's unbelievable, the looting. So, Indian Point is shut down. Oyster Creek is shut down. My top 5 worst nuclear reactors on the face of the earth. Most dangerous. San Onofre. I've concentrated so hard on them my whole life. I've fought them my whole life. It's the great accomplishment of grassroots activism in the history of the world is to shut down San Onofre. Unarguable. Myself, Gary Hedrick, the whistleblowers inside, they sent me that footage. Well, I'm in a bone marrow transplant center. What bad timing. You know, I had political cover because of my cancer. Got it out to the world. The world's like, whoo. Kathy Iwan, who was in Fukushima. Rachel Godoya, you know, they're like Kevin Blanch, you know. I mean, we got them against all odds. They had no intention to shut down. None. Remember, they went back to court, you know, and they kept winning and winning and winning. But it was the exposure of their fraud. We're going to hit the beach. We're going to hit the beach. Kevin Blanch's post-Secret Army, the anonymous army. We're going to hit the beach. We're going to expose these fuckers. They're going to go to prison. Kamala Harris was key because her mother had just passed away. They were afraid. Oh, they announced on D-Day, just like Kevin Blanch, we're going to hit the beach on D-Day. I announced right here to the world with a, you know, plumb full of AML leukemia. And so they announced to the world, shut down on D-Day because they're afraid of jail. That's all they're afraid. It's not money. They never shut down because of money. They're afraid of my army. They don't want to go to jail. These are the biggest, as Dunford calls them, the biggest weakling. Oh, you should see him. You get up to him, he says, they'll literally piss their pants. Oh, you ain't seen cowards. It's so true. They're so scared of fucking going to jail. So, oh, they shut down because of economics. Okay, if they shut down because of economics, they would have shut down decades ago. The economics have not changed. It's a loot job. Steal money. It's free money. Oh, the frackers got them. No, they didn't. No, they didn't. Total lie. They've been unprofitable for decades and decades. They're afraid of prison. That's the only reason they're shutting down, and they're just stealing money, and then they're just pivoting into small SMRs, into little nuclear reactors. So that's the sham, which because of Price-Anderson. That's the, you know, they upped it again in 2005. You're asleep. So Holtec, let's talk about Holtec. Now, I'm not a big fan of Holtecs, but I'll take them over what we, look, the United States government has failed miserably. The United States populace has failed miserably. They will not tackle this. They'll run and hide. They're weaklings. They're cowards. I know that. Look, Obama covered up Fukushima, was a pro-nuclear, so we get Trump. Everybody puts him in. Okay, we have hope. He was even worse. He threw out more. He started nuclear weapons testing in freaking Idaho, in Nevada. Yes, here, I'll tell you how corrupt it is. Ben McAdams, who sponsored the bill, who's here in that district, jerry-rigged district that he lives in, sponsored the bill to block it. Take the money out. He's done really incredible. Finally, we get a good anti-nuclear in, the congressional district. That's getting something done. Working bipartisan. He gets beat by Burgess Owens, Foxconn News, a bankrupt dude from Brooklyn, who's brains of Sebastian, who's dumber than a stick, has nothing to do with Utah, no ties to Utah, no nothing. Ben McAdams, he gets beat. That's my point. They're hypnotized by television. So, but that doesn't mean our work doesn't go on. Look, my top 10 list of nuclear reactors, number 1, San Aubrey, shut down, done, in dry cast. Oh, they told us that it would take freaking 40 years. A gazillion dollars. It took less than 5. That's with a complete freaking, they rolled into town, Chuck and Nina. I knew they were shamming the day. I remember being at the hearing and they had a table. I was, where the fuck they come from? I've been in these hearings my life, never seen them. They were paid. Who do you think, when they have all this money, grassroots activists don't have any money. There's the problem. They slander us, I think, and people aren't willing to donate to people that accomplish because it doesn't make it into their social engineered paradigm. You can't freaking package me, market me, like they can Greenpeace, Sierra Club, all these freaking greenwashers. It's all about, because it's a selfishness play. It's me. It's raise money, raise. I mean, wait till you wake up. Obey, consume, obey, consume, obey, consume. This country's disgusting. What they've turned into. We have a grotesque it's like COVID-19. Why are we not discussing the origin of COVID-19, a mutation from the sea? There's no doubt in my mind it's a mutation from the Fukushima meltdown catastrophe. The biggest story on the face of earth, which party refuses, the American populace refuse to address. Yeah. Oh, it's classified. So what if it's classified? Break fucking ranks. So the canisters, the dry cast centers that Holtec rolled in and saw an opportunity. So Indian Point was approved by that's the very first shirt out of the box, Gene Stone. Talk about a museum piece. That accomplishment is San Onofre. And by the way, thank you to the workers who did that. Oh my God, talk about dangerous work. So they're doing it. So the top 5 worst nuclear reactors, San Onofre done, finished, in dry cast. Now we're working on getting it moved, but you keep voting the people that freaking want to get it moved out of office. Degenerate America. Diablo Canyon, number 2. Gonna shut down next year. Done. Hasta la vista. And Holtec will do that one too, I guess. But on site in those pads, I'm not for that, but it's a major step. It's 10 million times safer than these spent fuel pools full of waste. People don't realize these reactors were not built to spent because by law they were supposed to be in Yucca Mountain. Well, the American populace paid for Yucca Mountain. Why is it not in Yucca Mountain? That's a good question. Congressional Act said yes, and if you don't have any, do you know we as the taxpayer are paying a fine to these reactors, and they're not public utilities, they're owned by people like Bill Gates, by freaking Google, Apple, Amazon, Jeff Bezos' grandpappy, look him up. Guys, I mean, Operation Paperclip on chemo on Balco. We pay them a fine because we have not freaking, so what they've had to do is build swimming pool after swimming pool after swimming pool on top of these reactors. They're not, I mean, they have so much waste stacked on stacked on stacked, they're not built for it. It's the most dangerous thing in the fucking world. TikTok, Diablo Canyon. This waste coming out of these pools, into these dry cast canisters, into a freaking pad is a million times safer than where they are now. So, San Onofre done. Diablo Canyon was ranked 2, done. Boise Creek got ranked 3, shut down. Holtec's got them. Gonna do this. 4, Indian Point, shut. They just proved it yesterday. 5, Turkey Point, Miami-Dade, not yet. That piece of shit. Fukushima. In my top, let's build nuclear reactors on the Ring of Fire. It's insanity. So while you're asleep, Kevin Blanch and his post-ignorance army, including San Onofre, without me, they never shut down. We started this domino effect. They're afraid of us because they're afraid of jail because they know how corrupt they've been. And they know, my anonymous army, we've exposed so much shit. We have the dirt on, and we fed it to them. And we're still doing it, by the way, while you're asleep. We've gone from 104 nuclear reactors in the United States post-Fukushima. We're clear down into the 60s and counting. Worldwide, 400. Oh, they're going to put a generational Mach 5, one a month starting in 2012 in China. China hasn't put one up. Westinghouse broke, bankrupt GE, I mean, all this. Just more bail out, more bail out, more bail out. They'll put any on. We're down to under 200, under 300 worldwide and crashing. Europe's done. Everybody's done with these fucking monsters. They're going to loot out the fucking way out the door. It's a major accomplishment and a major story. Indian boy? Fuck, nobody ever thought that fucking nightmare. I used to fucking protest. They'll chase you out of there with guns. The Nuclear Energy Crime Syndicate, which Status King Cuomo gave them $7.6 billion. Status King Cuomo had Trump for everybody, but they know it's all mob run. The nuclear, Mike Tyson, I mean, the mob runs these things. Well, let me tell you to the mob. The mob's flipping. Go to the real mob in Italy and talk nuclearism to them. I mean, the old days, they ran it, threw the waste all over. Westinghouse rolled back in 2012 executives. We're going to start up 5 reactors. The mob kneecapped them. So, you know, I don't believe in violence. For the YouTube videos, what I've accomplished, it doesn't really matter at this point because the domino effect is on it. They can't stop it. And by the way, everybody supported this nuclear. Scientists are mystified, they're baffled, they're puzzled, they're stumped, they're perplexed. This greatest ecological collapse in history caused by the Nuclear Energy Crime Syndicate and their useful idiots. Good luck to you. I was given 2 months to live. I'm alive. Alive and kicking. Thank you to everybody who supported this historic work. I'll get by with a little help from my friends, but it's lean. It's been hardcore. I mean, think about all the money that's been sent to Greenpeace, Sierra Club, the greenwashers who do this shit. You know, so Indian Point, what an accomplishment. So you guys can turn on Holtec all you. I don't give a fuck. I'll support them. And I said that from there. It's a bad idea? Yeah. But it's the best of the bad ideas. So they take these cans, take them out of spent fuel pools, which is a dangerous job, put them in the can, put them in the pad on the shock absorbers. And I'm working with Mike, and I was working with Ben Matt. They vote him out. I mean, Burgess Owens in Utah. Think how fucking sick, hypnotized, and whack these stuff in Utah. They're degenerate. You know, the family died of fucking downwinders, and Mike Lee's on Ward Street. That's where he lived. We just found out my dad was a downwinder. You're not? I mean, this is right when Mike Lee was getting caught sneaking in the Italian Waste Energy Solutions dump site here in Utah. I do all that work. You think about the work I've done? Well, it's staggering. What's his name says, you got to be the most accomplished, famous fucking activist maybe in world history. Yeah. Now look at my view count. Look at me. Because people, I don't fit into their paradigm. You can't market me. Because you can't figure out, because I hate Democrats, I hate Republicans. You know, I hate consumption junkies. I'm not falling into this fucking freak show. I'm going to shut. Somebody asked me in an interview, you know, I did so many interviews and it was all over the media, everywhere. First time let me talk about Fukushima. Somebody asked me, what is it you really are, Kevin Blanch? Well, it's hard to figure what you are and who you are. I says, simply, I shut down nuclear reactors for a living. So this is a big accomplishment in New York, I'm telling you. Holtec, yeah, and the money is there. The money is there. Not one iota. And this whole fucking alternative sham, this new scale, you know, where's the FBI? I love the FBI in freaking Ohio. They arrest the fucking people that take the bribe, but they won't even fucking say one word about the bribers because they're afraid of the Nuclear Energy Crime Syndicate. As I call them, the untouchables. Well, I'm hoping somebody in the FBI, somebody in there, you know, a family member died of cancer, like that's the only reason Kamala Harris got so involved. Her mom, the epidemiologist at Livermore, I used to protest. Her mom had just had a cancer. So there's got to be people inside the FBI. There's got to be people inside there that know the Nuclear Energy Crime Syndicate killed their loved ones. They cover up Fukushima, their loved ones. They've got to have an axe to grind. No person was ever born to set this right. You know? V for Vendetta. They murder my father, put him in a cage and grab his brain in the back society, murder him and try to give me cancer, wipe me out. Mike Lee keeps me off Medicaid. I was a millionaire when I got sick. I mean, I've lived with nothing. You know, I've learned to live half a life. It's been hardcore and brutal, and I really don't give a fuck. You can believe me all you want. But, like I said, I've said this for years. San Onofre will go down in history as the greatest activist in world history. It started, and I knew it. It started the domino effect. You know, all that work I did, I was so full of cancer. What we accomplished was 1,000,000 to 1 shot. Like me surviving cancer. It's impossible, but we did it. And the domino effect, and you can't stop it. They're done. But the thing is, they need to pay. Do not forgive them. Do not forget. Until you start locking these fucking, I mean, it's so disgusting. The academians, everybody else that's gone along with this, fuck you. You know what you are, but you're going to train in your health. No one gives a fuck in this country. Look at the debt. They don't give a fuck. They're about me, selfishness, give me some fucking money. They don't give a fuck about the environment. There's never been a time in the history, and I've been at this for 50 years, where my donations were so lean, when everything was so crash, whatever, because he goes crazy, says fuck Trump. I wanted Trump out of office. I hate that guy. He was so pro-nuclear. He freaking nuked us again in Utah. You know? Just like Obama. What a piece of shit. So, you know, sliding with Biden, we'll see, won't we? You know, and I'm not going to give him much time. Stan tuned it. Well, Kevin reached into the bag and he slung the stone, and it struck the nuclear freaking energy giant in his forehead, and the stone embedded into that nuclear energy forehead, and he fell to the earth and radiated the earth for time and all eternity.